Wrestling fans, welcome to a special edition of Strong Style. I'm Jeremy the Impact York, joined by my special guest. Uh, this is not to say he's been around a while, but the legendary
Ugh,
Sal Rinauro. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great. I don't mind if you say I've been around a while. You just don't have to put numbers on those years. We just
No, 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 no.
an over encompassing. He's done it for a minute or two. That's fine by me.
Well, see, that's actually, I'll start right there. Is that when I told people you were going to be on, everybody said, yeah, it's so great that he's kind of doing this mentoring thing now where he's helping all these people out. And I was like, well, that's fine. He's actually been doing that his entire career. You're just seeing it a lot more now. I was like, but the thing is most of the time when people get to the mentor role, it's because they're stepping back a little bit. You're still full on 100% in the ring.
Oh, I'm full boogie, man. It's one of those things where I'm a big believer in leading by example, anyways. So like, it's a lot better when I take the crew of people that I'm working with, and I can tell you 600 times, like, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. But when I have physical proof, like, this is how you do it this way. See, and it's just a different way for guys and girls to learn. So, yeah, I tell everybody I'm gonna keep going until my body says I can't.
I hear you. And even then, maybe we'll have the technology to make that still happen.
Oh, 100%. I don't let nobody tell me what to do. So even if it's my body,
I usually don't listen when people try to tell me things, so it makes it easy to ignore them.
exactly. It's fine. It's fine.
But once again, not to put numbers on it, but talk a little bit about kind of the origin of you getting into wrestling. Like, what made you want to do it, and then kind of how did you start breaking in?
Well, I tell everybody I'm either the smartest guy you've ever met or the dumbest person you've ever met. I'll let your choice. Pro wrestling's all I've ever wanted to do. I can't remember a time where, like, oh, I'm just going to be a wrestler, right? Like, I remember vividly. This memory stuck with me. It's one of those core memories that when I forget, you know, my kids' names or I forget, my home address, I'll remember this. I was in first grade. It was Miss Bradbury's class, and she was going around, and we were doing what do you want to be when you grow up? Little Timmy wanted to be a dentist, and little Michelle wanted to be a lawyer. And well, what do you want to be, Sal? Oh, I want to be a pro wrestler. And then little Johnny wanted to be a dinosaur. And she was like, little Johnny's got a better shot at being a dinosaur than you do being a pro wrestler. I'm like, all right,
Mm.
well, spoiler alert. I don't think little Johnny made it. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I've always been fascinated by. It's just, I saw it, I said, that's it. And there was no room for any other option. I was dead set on being a pro wrestler. And fortunately, at the age of 13, I was still in California at the time. I was born and raised in California. At the age of 13, I found a local indie show that ran every other Sunday 2 blocks from my house. So every Sunday morning, about 11 o'clock, while most families are getting up and putting on their Sunday finest to go to church, I was putting on whatever I could to walk 2 blocks to wait at the Boys and Girls Club till anybody showed up. And after a while of doing that, they kind of got to know me, and so they let me help put up the ring. They let me help put up the chairs. They let me help cook the hot dogs and put out the flyers. And I was so enamored with pro wrestling. I was happy to do anything just to be semi included. And it got to the point where we worked out a deal where if everything was done, I could get in the ring if there was
Mm.
time. So, 13-year-old me, you couldn't tell me nothing, right? Everything was done in plenty of time. So the guys on the show realized, well, we've got a kid here that's more than happy to take these bumps, so we could try stuff out and not hurt each other. And that's kind of how I learned. Uh, it was. I'm a big believer in do as I say, not as I did kind of thing. I
Hmm.
learned the worst way possible. But like, it's funny because I just fallen in love so much with pro wrestling and watched so many VHSs and all the Saturday shows and all the Sunday whatever. So like things like a collar and elbow tie up or like hammerlock reversals or like
Hmm.
I never really was taught those. I just knew them. But yeah, I did that for for a couple of years I did it, and then at 15, promoter came over and said, "Hey, we've got a battle royal. We're short guys. Do you mind putting on a hood?" And I mean, it's just a battle royal. In and out, whatever. Yeah, I think I can make that happen. And so I've been going ever since.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and that's how it works. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I was like, go put in the time, go put in the work, go. I mean, yeah, pay your dues is a way to say it, but just go show them that you're committed to doing this and you're not just trying to do it to show up on picture day like a lot of people do. And when they start to see that you're as invested as they are, they will find a spot for you and you can earn your way up.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not always easy, but I can't tell you how
Yeah.
many times I've gotten something because I'm there. Right? Because I wasn't booked, but I was there. Like, oh, Sal's here, we can use him. Oh, there's Sal. It's yeah. I'm a big believer in making my own opportunities and not waiting for it to knock. So,
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I've noticed that on two of the last three shows I've been to in the last couple of weeks is that people either showed up because they're part of the riding group or the posse of people already on the card, or they just said, "Yeah, I live up the road and I decided to come check out the show." And they walked in. The promoter goes, "Got your gear? Yeah, come here."
yep, yeah. I mean, and that's how it works, man. And it's just one of those, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready
Hmm.
mentality, right? Let's
Yep.
especially when you're a sucker like me, and still in love with pro wrestling. Like I can't have enough. Let's do it. Let's go.
My better half just has learned to accept that there's certain things, and pro wrestling is probably at the top of that she may not understand my love affair with it, but she knows it doesn't interfere with the love affair I have with her. So she just
Yes.
goes,
No.
"That's
Well,
his thing. He's just over the moon about it," and it makes no sense to her.
it's funny when my well now ex-wife, but we got married, and she had to have a Saturday wedding, and I was like, this is inconvenient. I've got guys getting to shows and this, that, and the third. And we kind of met in the middle. We got married on a Saturday, and I was doing an afternoon show on a Sunday. So also
Uh,
why she may be an ex. I'm not under.
Sometimes, just like the wrestling business, the story arc doesn't always end the way you thought it would.
Yeah, yeah, but it's okay. No harm, no foul, right?
Right. But speaking of a pairing that works out, or that is at least working out better than that one did for you, whether you are a part of Mad Street or Happy Madness, you and Sunny Days and Michael Stevens are really tearing up the indie world, especially in the greater Southeast right now. How did that even come about?
Well, it's funny. Sunny Days, when Southern Honor had started, I was interested in trying to get on, and I heard he was the guy to reach out to. So about once a month, the day after the Southern Honor show, Sunny Days in his inbox would have a new promo from Sal Rinauro. And didn't respond, whatever, left me on bread. And then we just happened to be doing a lethal lottery show together and got paired together. And I mean, it was one of those instant chemistry things where it was like, why haven't I booked you? Like, I don't know. I swear to God, I've been trying. And, I mean, he went from a guy that I couldn't get a thumbs up from to one of my best friends, in life. And then Michael Stevens is one of those guys that uh, he's one of the first guys I really took a mentorship to. This is, back 08, 09. I was still helping run Rampage Pro Wrestling. And he was one of those guys. And I just saw a lot of him in myself, or myself and him, six in one hand, where he wasn't booked half the time, but he was there, and it was, hey, I got more. Let's go. So Sonny and I had been doing the team thing for a while, and I just felt like I really wanted to get more involved with it because I just like the dynamic. All three of us have really good
Mhm.
chemistry together. And so I got to a point where I could finally pull the trigger and make it work storyline wise. And we haven't looked back since, you know. I mean, those are two of my favorite writing partners anyway. So it makes life a lot easier when I don't dread being on the road as much. And you know, those two help me out. And it's funny because they're just such different characters. You know, Sonny and I could talk football all day, and Marv, you know, doesn't know the difference between a football and a soccer ball. So you know, he's but when it comes, you know, but when it comes time to talk business, you know, their minds are from two different places, but they're just both so creative that it's a real melding pot of just of thought and creativity, and it's a lot of stuff that piques my interest and helps make me better.
Exactly. And of course, anybody who is joining us midway through the show, first off, that is impressive because this is a recorded podcast. That means you decided to seek your way
Just
through it. But I'm talking with wrestling legend and one of the top 25 in Georgia, Sal Rinauro. You know, everybody has their thoughts on lists and who makes the list and those things like that, and who creates these things. What was your overall thoughts about that?
well, I mean, in all honesty, transparency, the only list I was ever concerned with was the PWI 500. And I cracked that list in
Yep.
2002. That was the first time I was on it. And so I just know the lists are very opinionated. And, you know, pro wrestling's such an unobjective, you know, like, I mean, everybody's opinion is way different. And, uh, it's flattering, you know. It's always cool to be recognized by those that watch. And I mean, if you go back and look at these lists, however long these lists have been produced, you know, my name's on it. You know, so like
Yep.
it's always cool to be honored to be, you know, top, you know, 25 wrestlers in the state. But I live in a world where I'm the best wrestler in the world. You know,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
and I understand that, you know, a lot of people will not agree with that. That's okay. I don't need them to agree with that.
Nope.
I have to wake up and know I'm the best so I can produce the best. And that's my mentality going into every day. I mean, that was my mentality walking into the gym today was I'm the best wrestler in the world, right? And one
Yep.
doesn't really have anything to do with the other, but that's just my mindset. And until I'm proven wrong, I'm going to think I'm the best wrestler in the world. So, you know, thank you for putting me on your list. I'm really good at pro wrestling, but you know, in my brain, I'm number one, no matter what is published by whom and when. So,
Yeah, and I heard you say that over there with Nick on the Tapped Out podcast, friends of the show there, and I
yes,
was like, you know what, that's kind of a mentality. I have to fight the opposite sometimes, but that's when I tell people when Jeremy starts being the impact instead of trying to find him all the time, is the impact shows up when he walks into a room and said, "I'm the best." Lack of a better way to put it, because it's a great phrase. I'm the best in the world at what I do, and nobody in here can beat me. How can I continue to stay
absolutely.
up top?
Absolutely. And this thing is, it's funny. You know, pro wrestling, you hear guys worried about their spot, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm a big believer that there's not a soul on this planet that can take my spot because my spot is my spot. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. I don't care if you're a better technical wrestler than me, or if you're bigger than me, or if you're stronger than me,
Mm-hmm.
or faster than me, or better looking than me, or whatever. There's not a soul on the planet that can do what Sal Rinauro does. Period. You know, and that's is that ego?
Exactly.
Maybe, but I also think there's a lot of truth in that. That you know,
Mm-hmm.
you can excel at one place more than me, but you can't excel at every place more than me. You
Exactly.
know, there's just so the proof is in the pudding at this point. Where I mean, I can't tell you the number of guys that I look up to, guys that like I respect, that like, oh, I want to do what they're doing. That call me and like, hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, I need some ideas. Can you help me? I mean, uh, I don't want to drop some names, but there's guys, you know, that appear on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, and you know, and Tuesday nights that I've spoken to this week alone that have we've talked. advice from me, not for me. Which is it's always silly when I get off those phone calls because it's like, no, wait, you guys are making way more money than me. You tell me, like, why are you
Right.
asking me?
Exactly. But I think that just goes to the not only the respect they have for you and the camaraderie that they've built up over the years, but in knowing, like we said, that kind of mentorship and that you can see it from the 30,000 foot view, which is I encourage people to always step out of your own situation and try to look at it from thirty
Absolutely.
thousand feet. And when you do that, you'll usually find a solution. And I think them tapping into such a great wrestling mind as yourself is their way of doing that.
Well, and I tell them, one of the things I've done to cheat, it's a total cheat sheet. And I don't care about, sharing that I'm cheating. It was probably about 5, 6 years ago. My youngest son, who is he's mini me. It scares me, man. Like I'll come home. I'll never forget when the network first came out, when WWE Network first came out, and I came home one day and I was like, "Hey, what'd you do today?" And he's like, "Oh, I was watching Saturday night's main event from '85, Hogan and Funk." And I'm like, "Why? You're 4. Go outside. What are you talking about? Why are you
Yeah.
watching Hulk Hogan and Terry Funk? What? No, go color. Like, what are we doing here?" But I quickly realized that the dollar that they're looking for is not mine. They've been
Right.
getting my money. They've been getting my money my whole life. They'll get my money until I'm no longer breathing, and they'll probably find a way to get that money out of the casket, right? Uh, they're not seeking my dollar. They're seeking
Yep.
his age group dollar. So
Yep.
I'm real big now on when I'm watching wrestling with my son, not talking and just listening. I'll ask him, well, why do you like this guy? Why don't you like this guy? Why do you like this girl? What did you like about this match? What makes you want to tune in next week? Things like that, because
Yep.
that's the focus group that they want, and that's my cheat sheet. I use it all the time because I'm grizzled and bitter and old, and I've seen it all. And God bless, I've done a lot. So my perspective is going to be my perspective. I want to get other perspectives. I want to get the perspective of the dollar that they're seeking, not the dollar that they have.
Exactly. And spoken like a real promoter because next place I was going with everybody says that on the Georgia indie scene, and I kicked myself after the fact of not seeing this in person for a lot of reasons. You had one of the largest hands in putting together Rumblejack this year, and I already said kudos for making me look great. That I had the winner Alexander Lev, and I had the runner-up Austin Towers on this show about 2 weeks before they were in that match, so it made me look really good. But I mean, having 40 talents and probably I might even be leaving people out and saying 10 other crew members other than yourself, all involved in the production of that entire thing, referees and all the other people, making sure people are getting through the curtain, the right music's playing. How do you manage 50 people and pull off such a spectacular event?
It's the team. It's not a one man show. God bless. I mean, especially with Sunny Days, by my side, like he's my guy. That he's the one. It's it's funny. So just to peel a layer off the onion a little bit, I'm also full time producing at NWA, and
Oh,
yeah, I just got back in from New York. We had the 77th anniversary show this last
mm-hmm,
weekend,
mm-hmm.
and Simon Diamond, Pat Kenny, who is in charge, whenever we have one of those multi-man, battle royal rumble, gauntlet style matches, without question, every time I'm put in charge of it. And this weekend we had a 13-man one, and we're going around the room and they're calling out the name of the producer, and he goes, Sal. And so at the end of it, I kind of pulled Pat aside. I was like, hey man, why do we have heat? Like, what did I do to hurt you? Because I need to fix. Like, I want to fix that right now. And he was like, look, and it's funny just because the room I'm in, the producers in this room, it's Simon Diamond, it's Trevor Murdoch, it's Aaron Stevens, it's Dr. Tom Pritchard, it's Homicide, it's Jazz, and then it's me. And I'm like, why are you giving me this match? He goes, you're the most organized one of all. And I was like, well, that speaks a lot for how unorganized. That's not a compliment to me. No, but he was like, you just understand how to get these where they need to be. It's your gift. Like I don't put it on you because I don't like you. I put it on you because I know you can do the job well. Which is cool, but good lord, I need hazard pay or something, isn't it?
You're starting to get typecast here. That's what it is.
Absolutely, that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the Rebel Jack, right? I mean, like, um, there's just so many moving parts, and like there's a team there to rely on, to fall back on. But if you get all those parts moving in the right motion, like we did at Rumblejack,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's the finest form of art you can produce because
Oh yeah.
there's no net.
Nope.
We're live, pal. So either I'm a big believer that it's a hit or a miss, and that Rumblejack was 6 hits. I mean, it worked
Oh yeah.
on every part. It was really proud of that one. Really, really proud of that one.
Absolutely. And as we're finishing up with Sal Rinauro here on Strong Style, I got to see you actually, truth be told, first time live. I've seen so many videos and so many other things of your work. I saw you and Caleb with a K, Conley. Got to always get that
Yeah,
right. Back in Deep South a couple months ago, where you guys got the opportunity to face the newly crowned tag team champions of I like to call him Slap, but Stunt
yeah,
Marshall. And I think people know all about that. And by far one of the more underrated guys out there right now in DJ Smoke. And the reason that you guys got the title shot is the last time that Deep South Wrestling had tag team championships, it was you and Caleb. And
yeah,
so you got the opportunity to come challenge for that.
yeah. It was one of those. It kind of caught me out of left field when I got the call. I'd sent out feelers before to Deep South, just because I'm not good at staying at home and doing nothing when I know there's stuff to do. So
Yeah.
I've put feelers out to Deep South, and we just kind of we hadn't been able to hit. And so when I got the call, like, hey, what do they didn't even tell me what it was. It was just, are you interested? Yeah. Oh, well, we're thinking about teaming you with Caleb. Like, oh yeah, let's run it back one more time. Caleb's one of
Yeah.
those guys that, like, I think I was like his fourth or fifth match ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Caleb for a long time, and watching, he's one of those guys that I've got to watch, grow by leaps and bounds, and
Yep.
it's always a pleasure to get to catch up with him. He's just one of those guys that, well, actually, one of my favorite Caleb stories is when we were when NWA was in its infancy under the Billy Corgan, the Lightning One era.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb was there, and I was there, but I wasn't. I was just a guy, right? I mean, going back to what we talked about before, I kind of just volunteered to be there,
Right.
put myself in the right place. And this was the second set of tapings, and Caleb and I were just chit chatting, chopping it up, and Billy Corgan starts walking towards us, and it's one of those. His eyes are locked on where we are. So, like, I know he's coming in our general direction, but I also know this dude doesn't know me. So I'm gonna, as he gets kind of closer, I kind of take a step back so he can talk to Caleb about whatever business they had to talk about. And Billy walks up and he turns right to me and he goes, "Hey Sal, I just want to let you know I'm really interested in doing some character stuff with you if you're interested." And my
Wow.
response was, "Billy Corgan knows my name."
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah, so and Caleb got a kick out of that because, but it's just one of those moments in time, right? But it's always good to reconnect with Caleb. Like I said, he's one of my favorite guys, and getting to run it back at Deep South, man, that's the stuff, man. Like, we had such a fun match, and this was the week after stunt became, slap master champion. So I kind of, that's one of those things where like experience comes into play where when I got there, before anybody said anything, I was like, hey, you're up with the slap. He's like, you think? And I was like, no, I know. Like I don't
Yeah.
care what anybody else says. You're gonna slap me, and that's gonna be the end of it. And then throughout the day, people will pop their head in, hey, just want to make sure you're working that slap in somehow. Like, yeah, it's the finish. And like
Yeah.
Nick Patrick came over and he was like, hey, son, we're getting the slap in, right? I was like, Pat, or Nick, come on, yeah, it's the finish. And he was like, I knew better than that. I just had to make, like,
Yep.
yeah, got you, Nick. Uh, but yeah, I mean, that was fun. And uh, I can't, I don't want to say too much, but I don't think that's the end of your pal Sal. It's that Deep Sal.
Yep. Even though friend of the show Eric is a personal friend of mine as well, I always tell people I am not in on the booking meetings, but yeah, I think it went over really well. And for lack of time, I won't get into my pitch that I have. That I don't think you guys got a fair shake that day. I think you're owed a rematch,
I
and
think it's only right.
it almost caused an argument between me and Eric, a real life argument. So we will leave that where it is. But in the last few minutes, I want to talk about that you are making your premier All Star Wrestling debut this weekend at the
Heck
show,
yeah.
7:30 bell time, the Church Without Walls in Carrollton. It is up the street from where we sit right now. But it is you and Michael Stevens as Mad Street taking on the Wonder Boys. Have you faced the Dallas Boys before?
I haven't faced him as a team. I've wrestled with Aaron once at Southern Honor. He got the Duke that night, so he's indebted to these hands. Uh, and I mean, I know they're brothers, but even their brotherhood doesn't run as deep as me and Marv. Uh, those boys are in trouble.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wonder if they're walking out at the end of the night.
Hey, Aaron, Ethan, I know you watch this show and you're going to be on it sometime soon, but you heard that right there. You just got put on notice by one half of Mad Street.
Lou Gehrig, I'm calling my shot. No, that was Babe Ruth. I'm calling every Yankee. I'm calling all of the shots. You boys are in trouble.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's going to be great to see you live again. I am doing my best. It seems like everybody wants my attention that day. I am doing my best to try to make that show. I should be there. I know you're going to be there. And what is your lasting? What is your message to the fans about why they should come out to this show?
Oh man, I mean, if you look at the card top to bottom, it's a stacked show. But I mean, how often do you get to see the only two-time back-to-back Rookie of the Year, uh, former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion? Carrollton was, back in the day, that was my stomping grounds there for Peach State
Yep.
Wrestling, former Peach
Yep.
State Heritage Champion. It's going to be a homecoming, it's going to be a party, and it's going to be a beating. I mean, what more do you want?
Right.
It's a little bit of everything for everybody.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's going to be fantastic to be out there. Lev and a bunch of other ones that we mentioned are going to be all over this card too. It is ridiculously stacked. Pat Roach, a little bit of everything for everybody. But it has been great having you on, Sal. Great to actually talk to you in person as we have been hit or miss for a long time. But
Yes, my
I'm going to let
pleasure.
you back to your evening and appreciate you being on.
No, thank you for having me. And one more thing, guys, if you do come out to premiere this weekend, ask Lev why he hasn't watched a Goofy movie and just leave it at that. Yeah, yeah, he's a horrible human. He's the worst human on the planet.
Yep. Writing that down right now. We are going to get into that as soon as I see him next. But Sal, it's been great. We will see you later down the road.
Thank you, guys.